Madeline Matlock was back on the case this Thursday, as CBS freshman drama served up episode 2 after a nearly month-long break. Rome in a day opened with a literal nightmare scenario for Maddie, who arrived at Jacobson Moore bearing homemade muffins, only to get called on the carpet by Olympia, Julian, and Senior about getting the classic Matlock TV series end date wrong. Its original NBC run ended in 1992, but ABC picked it up for another 3 seasons. After a comical flash of Maddie in a seersucker suit a la Andy Griffith's OG Matlock, Maddie woke up in bed alongside husband Edwin. Post-morteming the night terror, they agreed she needs to slow down a bit when masquerading, and keep her facts straight. Grandson Alfie reminds Maddie of her current goal, to acquire the passcode for Jacobson Moore's computer system, so they can hunt down damning files about their shady pharma client. After mediating an elevator clash between Olympia and Julian, over him giving their daughter too much ice cream on his watch, Maddie nearly slips up again, when asking facilities manager Mrs. B how to access old case files. Maddie arrives at the office she will be sharing with Billy and Sarah, the latter of whom loudly laments the fact that they will now be known as U3 to Olympia with the new but old hire on board. When Olympia finds herself, monetarily, compelled to help her class action suit client's sister with a murder rap that her 18-year-old, developmentally delayed son is facing, she tasks U3 with poking holes in a witness statement. Olympia meanwhile uses some college football acumen from colleague/secret beau Elijah to cajole a continuance from the Michigan-loving judge. We also learn that Olympia and Elijah are planning a romantic getaway once her divorce from Julian is finalized, though a warm moment between the separated wife and husband, that Elijah later spies, certainly casts doubt on that happening. Maddie and Sarah pay a visit to the senior man who saw their client's son standing over the dead girl's body, from his apartment window, with Billy down on the street to test the man's eyesight. When that hunch comes up empty, Maddie presses the witness about the timing, and the fact that he was watching 60 Minutes, live. Oh, the horror, at the time leads them to realize that the victim's scream happened much sooner than bodega owner Jimmy said. While Olympia, Billy and Sarah go to ask Jimmy for his security cam footage, Maddie spies some schoolgirls talking about their friend's murder. This leads to a ruse in which Maddie befriends one girl, by staging the stomping of her spectacles, and in turn secures hot goss about creepy Jimmy, the bodega owner. Because Olympia denied Maddie's request to be involved in the bodega visit, Maddie questions her boss about not trusting her yet. Olympia calls the new hire out on her gobsmacking privilege, saying, "Trust you? I just met you a week ago." The bodega video puts Michael the defendant in the store at a damning time, and reaching for the type of condoms found at the crime scene, but a conversation with Alfie, about a fake news story he planted on the internet, about Maddie's subway mugging, gives Maddie the idea that all is not as it seems. Olympia sends Maddie to follow through on her hunch, explaining that is why she kept her away from the bodega earlier, so they had her harmless old women act to fall back on. Maddie has the clerk snap a pic of her 5'1" self reaching for the same condoms Michael seemingly did, and that photo ends up proving in court that the footage was doctored, and Michael was never there. Jimmy's MIT-bound son Charlie confirms on the stand that he himself did the doctoring, after accidentally killing the girl.